Okay, welcome to day 3 of surviving off of food storage. I'm rather excited about tonight. It's poppy seed chicken night. That's a meal that my family definitely enjoys, so we hope to be enjoying our dinner tonight. Last night's dinner was just fine. I didn't get to finish that all up, but yeah, the French dips went well. So, poppy seed chicken is a rice-based recipe that has chicken in it and Ritz crackers, yay, crumbled over the top with poppy seed mixed in it. So if you're allergic to poppy seeds or you just don't like them, you can omit the poppy seeds. It's not a big deal. I've got the rice already on the stove cooking because this rice is from 1998, so it's going to take, normally it takes me about 20 minutes to cook up some rice, the long grain rice, but this rice is older, so it's going to take probably about 15 minutes longer than that. I put in butter powder, and I hope that that will soak into the rice and give it kind of a buttery flavor like the butter normally does. We'll see. We'll see how it turns out. So, the other thing, sour cream. A replacement in an emergency I have researched is yogurt. In an emergency, I'm probably not going to have yogurt. So, buttermilk is also a replacement you can use. Most people probably won't have buttermilk or the buttermilk powder on hand. I do. The other substitute I read about is mayo. And it's, we'll see, it's going to definitely add fat to the recipe because that's a lot of mayo. So I'll give it a try and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so for the poppy seed chicken, the topping is going to have about half of a package of the Ritz crackers crushed up, a tablespoon of poppy seeds, and about 1/3 of a cup of shortening. It would be butter, and it would taste so much better with butter, but shortening when it cooks gets really crispy, so that's fine. The flavor won't be as delightful, but it'll still give us the same consistency. So, I always have Ritz crackers in my storage. They do not last for very long. I think it's about 6 months before they start losing their flavor and absorbing the smells of other things in the cupboard. So, about half a package. I'm making half of a recipe of this poppy seed chicken because I really don't know if it's going to turn out great or not. To crush them, I just take a can, you can take a rolling pin, whatever you want, crush them up. Yay! Alright, and then we put in a tablespoon of poppy seeds. Then we just shake it up and mix them all around. All right. Next, I'm going to measure out the 1/3 of a cup, and I'm going to melt it. Okay, shortening's melted. Yay. Be really careful here. Okay. Just pour it in there. I just like to get a little bit of air and shake it around, and if there's a couple of clumpies that got in there, that's fine. Just start smushing them around. Okay, so now I've got my rice cooking, which you can't see, but it's cooking. It's still probably about 10 minutes away from being done. It's smelling good. I think that butter powder is going to work. It smells really like normal rice that I normally make. Yay! So, for the chicken, I just, in an emergency, wouldn't have, fresh chicken, most likely, unless you're slaughtering your own chickens, which I've never done, but someday I probably will have to. When I've made this in the past, I did try substituting the chicken breast, the canned chicken, with regular chicken in this particular recipe, and we didn't really like it. What I'm going to try doing with it first is I'm going to take a little bit of the cream of mushroom and pretty much sear the chicken chunks in cream of mushroom so that they absorb some of the flavor instead of just being their own canned juiced flavor. The other trick that I would do, if this was any type of a meal that I'd be putting bacon in or bacon bits, my mom always taught me to have, to save the drippings from your bacon when you cook it, and then you could throw the bacon grease into the chicken and it sucks up that bacon grease and it's really good. I have a great chimichanga recipe that I make with this particular chicken and the drippings from bacon. Really, really good. One of my favorite recipes. The other thing is my original recipe for this poppy seed chicken calls for cream of chicken. However, my husband loves cream of mushroom, so anytime they're 50 cents a can, we've stocked up. We usually have about 60 cans of cream of mushroom. I definitely like both, but I'm out of cream of chicken, so in an emergency, you got to use what you got to use. Cream of mushroom isn't too much different. It's pretty much the same flavor. So let's now absorb some of the cream of mushrooms. So that'll be good. Okay, now I know a lot of people out there, some are partial to Miracle Whip. I am a mayo fan. That's just how I am, but the substitute does call for mayo, not Miracle Whip. If you want to experiment with it, it'll just be a little bit sweeter, and that's fine. If you want to do sweeter, you can do sweeter. So a cup of mayo, and I am actually getting kind of depressed because I'm almost out of mayo. Another thing in the food storage stuff that I'm going to want to have rotated every 6 months is mayo. And as I explained before, it might be a very good idea in an extreme survival situation to have mayo packets, because then you can just keep them outside in the air temperature. You don't have to have a fridge. Alright, but the mayo packets have an even shorter shelf life than mayo in a jar. It's about a month and a half, so just be aware of that. But food storage, as we have determined, if you want to be eating food that's got an off flavor and you're okay with it, then by all means do it. That's fine in a survival scenario. But if you want to enjoy it, I definitely recommend rotating, getting some good, a good rotation schedule for some of those very key things, such as powdered eggs, mayo, powdered milk, those kinds of things that will go bad after a year or two. Like I said, I made half of the proportion I normally do. So I'm going to just put about half of the rice mixture, rice and mayo, cream of mushroom mixture in on the bottom. Okay, and alright, I wasn't quite sure if 2 cans would be enough. I'm actually thinking I could have gotten away with just 1 can of chicken. I'm going to kind of squish it down in there so it kind of mixes in. Wonderful. Okay, we're just going to coat the top of this. Then you put the poppy seed over top. Okay, and there you have it. The poppy seed chicken is all ready to go in the oven at 350 for 30 minutes just to crisp the top of the poppy seed and the Ritz crackers.